Everyone that's watching me right now, take a breath in, take a breath out. Elon Musk, you weren't supposed to make the boring company tunnels boring. Now let's get into our Tesla Thursday numero 7. Let's get into it. Just this past Tuesday on December 18th, Elon Musk and the Boring Company unveiled their very first debut tunnel that's only around a mile, 0.14 long. It's not that long. And when Elon Musk promised on Twitter that there was going to be autonomous electric vehicles, I did not expect this tunnel turnout because it was overall kind of a disappointment. Me here, I'm a huge fan of Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX. I mean, he's done some great things, and you cannot deny that at all. Speaking of the Tesla Model 3, that is blowing up in car sales, and when he puts out that $35,000 base version, that is going to be huge. And SpaceX just sent the Falcon Heavy up this past year, and those rocket boosters come back to Earth intact so you can be reused for future use. And that company's probably going to get us to Mars, and Tesla's doing their thing, and the Tesla solar roof. We know. But now we're going to talk about the Boring Company, and if Elon Musk doesn't fix the way he's doing something, this could very well be just go into death as just a boring company. Before I show you a video of that 1.14 mile tunnel down in Hawthorne, California, I want to show you what we as Boring Company fans were promised 1 to 2 years ago. And just keep in mind this when you see what the actual tunnel looks like. Let's roll the footage. There was a really good chance that you've already seen that video because that is like kind of like the future of transportation. Just using this little loop thing and having it electric and on a little like electric skates going through a tunnel at like 150 miles per hour. That was the future, and just having it like a little subway station at either end, and that would be so efficient, much faster than the subway system. But what we got on Tuesday, December 18th, right for the debut of their tunnel, wasn't that little loop system. It was a Model X on skates. Let me just let the video do my talking. Here it is. And what we just saw right now was the disappointment of the first ever Boring Company tunnel. I don't want to offend any Elon Musk fans out there. I'm one myself. But this is just a disgrace. All it is a Model X with these little wheels on the side to keep it from bumping into the sides of the tunnel. That's all it is, and it's just a Model X driving for a mile underground. It's kind of cool in some ways. You got that nice blue lighting on the top, and then at the end it's green, and then the Model X goes perfectly into the little parking space, and the elevator just brings it up to the surface, and the elevator is only the size of like 5-ish parking lot spaces. So it's not gonna cause too much congestion if they want to like issue it like that. But I really suggest the Boring Company to go back to the drawing board, because this really shouldn't be the design. This is practically highways. If we just put like cars on these guided tracks on a highway, that's kind of what it is. And I know Elon Musk is praising this whole 3D tunnel thing, but how much tunnels do you want to build? I mean, this tunnel was only 10 million, but it wasn't that tech savvy, and 10 million is much cheaper than like 250 million per mile for like subway systems in New York City, Los Angeles, Boston, Washington, D.C. So the Boring Company got one of its goals right, and that was to make cheaper tunnels. And they're of course going to make bricks out of that, which is all nice and dandy. But if the whole transportation point, which is kind of why the Boring Company is here in the first place, isn't put out correctly, and all we get is this Model X on skates, what is the point? Because we were getting this whole idea of this electric pod little thing that could fit like 8 to 16 people. But now all we're getting is electric cars driving underground in tunnels that we've seen before. My camera's battery literally just died, and getting back to my point, we've seen these tunnels before. There's nothing too different. If we got that electric pod thing, that would be kind of really cool. But now it was just kind of meh. It was just as cool as a snail. It was just kind of boring, and I definitely don't think the Boring Company is named the Boring Company because they want to make it a boring company like that Model X tunnel. No, it's as a joke because they're gonna surprise people with the technology they make, and they still have the Hyperloop in front of them, and that's gonna be great and all. But this Model X tunnel, what was this? I mean, it has little wheels that pop up from under the Model X and just guide it through the tunnel and then pops back in, and the elevator takes it up. That's all this was. And only electric cars are going to be allowed in this tunnel, which is now mostly Teslas. So it's kind of like a walled garden Elon Musk and the Boring Company are creating with the Tesla system. And apparently from the few people who actually got to ride in that 1.14 mile tunnel, the experience wasn't that great. Some say like the paving of the actual concrete on the floor wasn't that smooth, and they didn't even go that fast. Here's just one little excerpt from someone who got a ride inside. Red lights atop the tunnel suddenly turned green. The Model X jolted forward and we were off. The trip was bumpy at times as we jostled against the tunnel. The narrow space made the low speeds we traveled, mostly at 35 miles per hour, feel faster. It felt like an amusement park ride. After about 2 minutes, the car emerged from the tunnel into a large pit in the SpaceX parking lot. Elon Musk said at the press conference they're gonna work on the paving of the concrete on the floor, but overall, only a max speed of around 35 miles per hour. What is this? Just as a joke, as an amusement ride? And I know I'm kind of being overcritical of it, and I think this could be super cool if they just put the electric pods in. I really want to see that design, and not just the Model 3, Model X, and Model S going on a little tunnel 40 miles per hour. And Elon Musk says that this is not just going to be for Tesla owners, and I've already said that they're going to be for other electric cars, but they're also going to be for cyclists and pedestrians. I really did not know how this is going to work, and because if the whole goal of this is not create any foot traffic, having these like little pedestrians and cyclists going through this little one parking lot elevator, that's gonna be very interesting. And I really do not know how Elon Musk and the Boring Company are going to execute this whole thing. That right there was just my initial reaction, and the Boring Company could definitely improve on this, and this was just the first design. But if this is what we're getting in Chicago, LA, Washington, DC, we might just have a huge disappointment on our hands. Hopefully not. And in a couple of days, I'm going to go on a vacation, but don't worry, I'm going to pre-record a whole bunch of the videos. This video right here isn't pre-recorded, but I'm going to get back to all the Tesla news this week, and I'm going to fill it in for the pre-recorded video for for a Tesla Thursday next week. So I could just keep this going every single Thursday because I like Tesla Thursday. Hey, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and the rest of your week. I've been MWG Tech, and I will see you tomorrow for the latest and greatest. Peace or adios.